This is the new young face of fentanyl addiction, before and after. 22-year-old Katie Mather, forehead and chin clawed open by her own fingernails because the use of fentanyl makes her skin crawl.
Welcome back to Mind Hijack. I always try to tell you what Mind Hijack is. The purpose of this channel is to wake up people to the reality around us. And today I'm going to talk about something very serious, and you can see me on the other channels that I talked about. did a video previously, what's happening with the death in fentanyl? Why is this addiction so pervasive in America? In a previous presentation, I talked about what leads to addiction. I'll give you a little summary to give you a refresher, but you can link below and you can see the full interview that I did about a year ago during the pandemic. The problem with addictions is that sometimes we're treating something that we had since we were very young. How do we get addicted? It appears that as you grow up with the stresses of life and anxiety and all the things and the challenges, we harbor a lot of mood and anxiety inside. Sometimes when we become a teenager, you make the first taste of alcohol and it calms you down. But the problem with opioids is the most addictive drug right now in the world. Let's give it a scenario. Let's say you go to a dentist or you have an injury. You're given a painkiller. Or for example, even better, when you had surgery, when you wake up from surgery, a drug named fentanyl is often given to alleviate pain in a controlled environment. So obviously nothing happens to you. But the sensation with opioids, they do a lot of things for you. Suddenly you're very relaxed, you don't feel depressed, you have no anxiety, and your focus is 100%. So addictions can happen when you discover that this is going to help you. It appears that the drug addiction when it comes to fentanyl in this country appears to be two groups. And the groups that we see now are the younger groups. You're seeing them overdose. You hear stories around your house or far away that children are dying. Adolescents are just dropping off, right? So they discovered this moment of relief, but they don't realize the potency of fentanyl. Let me give you some statistics. In 1999, we were averaging a few hundreds deaths per year from fentanyl overdose. And now we're almost reaching 100,000 deaths a year. You heard it. You hear it on the internet. You're hearing it even among the movie stars. People that suddenly die have been addicted to this painkiller, either fentanyl or even heroin. Problem with fentanyl, it is 50 times more potent than heroin and 100 times more potent than morphine. Now, fentanyl is a drug that's given after surgery. Imagine taking this with no control situation. One of the things about painkillers, they act in a part of the brain that also controls your breathing. The problem with these addictions, people develop a quick tolerance. So what happens when you take these drugs, you get an incredible relief, you have no pain, no anxiety, total focus, but it washes out immediately. And this washout phase causes back the anxiety and you have to take another dose. Now, what makes this very dangerous, your brain can only tolerate a certain amount of fentanyl. And you reach a point that you take a dose and you stop breathing. Ask any emergency room doctor, ask any hospital, it is out of control. I'll tell you a true story that just happened last week. A man came and he told me, "Doc, I just lost my brother and my cousin on fentanyl." So I asked him, "If he lost your brother and family, why are you using it?" "Doctor, I have incredible pain." So the challenges we're experiencing now, we have people with chronic pain injuries and they get pretty desperate. The same laws that protect you from getting addicted are very strict for pain management. The pain, it can be so intense that you develop a tolerance to painkillers. And patients get pretty desperate and they see no relief. So they go to the streets and they use heroin and then they use fentanyl. In the case of teenagers, they do this for experimentation, but it almost always leads to death. The good news, you can get treated. And one of the drugs that we use for fentanyl addiction and detox is something called Suboxone. Now, Suboxone is an incredible drug that we can administer at the hospital or we can administer in the office. It provides three things. It provides you from not being addicted from the product. You don't develop a tolerance. You get some pain relief. And yes, it even has properties that helps you for your mood and anxiety. It is not indicated for this use, but the opioids work in a part of the brain that is also related to your mood, the anxiety, and your focus centers. Some of these diagrams I showed you here, you can see the mechanism of action. The biggest challenge right now is how to help these people with pain. And fentanyl is killing the families. It is destroying children and it's destroying people with severe pain problems. I'll give you hope. There is hope. The problem is if you don't take care of the underlying problems that you have, such as anxiety and depression, you're still going to continue with the addiction and you're never going to get help. All it takes is a phone call. All it takes is a visit to a psychiatrist who can help you with this. As always, we're always here available for a consultation. But it doesn't matter. You should get seen by anybody. It's very important because you could be next. And all it takes is one more dose. And let me give you some warnings. There is now a fentanyl version that is used for elephants. Yes, there's a fentanyl version called carfentanil. And this carfentanil is so potent that it shoots down an elephant and knocks it down. This is now in the streets. It is so potent that if you touch it at a certain level, it penetrates your skin. And this is what the teenagers and people are using. And this is extremely dangerous. As always, like and subscribe. You're welcome to see me at this office. And if you have an addiction problem, you're welcome to come to the hospital I usually treat. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.